Alright, so I'm here with Rob Pardo from Blizzard, and he's going to show us Warcraft 3. So take it away, Rob. Sure. So this is Warcraft 3. This is an example of what a single-player level might be like in Warcraft 3.
The war chief has given us an important task. Nor has it that demons walk these lands, and if they do, we must deal with them before they gain a foothold in this world.
So you can see, like, all the mission briefing was actually handled through an in-game cinematic, which is something we want to do. We really want to make the game feel like a role-playing game. It's a strategy game in its heart, but we wanted to add a lot of role-playing game elements. First of which would be hero units. There's normal units in the game like there were in the past in StarCraft or Warcraft 2, but we've also added hero units that can gain levels, gain attributes, and hold inventory. So I can go over and pick up this magic item, which I can now use. It's called a Tome of Experience. When I right-click on it, I gain enough experience to gain a level, so now I'm a level 2 Shadowhunter. And now that I've gained level 2, I now can spend an ability point and buy a new ability for the Shadowhunter to use later. In this case, I'm going to learn Shadow Ward. So now I'm going to take some of my units and actually go adventure across the map. And you can see that we actually have done, this is our first 3D game, and you can see units actually conform to the slopes of the terrain as the catapult rumbles down the hill. You can also see the arcing catapult shots as it arcs over. So in War 2 we had lumber as a resource. In this game, our second resource is called mana stones. Mana stones you get from killing any of the creeps on the map like those gnolls, and you can use the mana stones in turn to buy new heroes back at your town. Now lumber though is still used as a way to block people. Trees block people from being able to explore around the map, but you can use artillery units to knock them down. So you can see, like, I can actually cut a swath of destruction through a line of trees so that my units can get to the other side of a tree line. We've also added shallow water to the game. In the past, we've only ever had deep water. Now we have shallow water and deep water, where shallow water units can actually move into it and move across.
Beware, you who tread on this sacred ground.
So this camp up here is actually a camp of satyrs. They're, again, just kind of evil creatures on the map that you defeat to get mana stones. And they have a boss, the Satyr Hellcaller. You can see he's actually using the same model, but he's scaled up and vertex lit different, so we can show that he's like a variant, and then we can get a lot more variety in the world that way. He also has the ability to cast Corpse Explosion on units, so it will probably be a tough fight here. Going to grab some of my grunts here and have them go berserk. Alright, so we defeated the satyrs. And now back here in the back of the town, you can see he is guarding a magic item, which I can now pick up and use. And this is called the Cloak of Shadows. It actually allows me to get the Shadow Meld ability. And I also want to show off the neutral buildings in the game. Along with all the neutral units, we also want to add neutral buildings that all heroes can use. So again, kind of adding that variety in that field of an interactive world. So you can see when I'm close to the neutral building, I'm actually healing up. So you can watch the grunt is actually healing fast. And there's all kinds of different neutral buildings in the map you can use. So another type of neutral building is the Goblin Merchant. Goblin Merchant over here, all I have to do is take my hero and right-click on the building, and then I can buy anything that's in the Goblin Inventory's Merchant, in this Goblin Merchant's inventory. So I'm going to buy a Scroll of Healing and a Wand of Fire. So now I'm going to come up on a bunch of kobolds, some more creeps that are on the map. I'm going to utilize one of the Shadowhunter's special abilities. Shadow Word ability I actually will go ahead and use. And what he does is he actually plunges the staff into the ground, which will make all my units that are nearby invisible. So you can see the wards now placed in the ground. And as my units approach it, they'll turn invisible, which means the kobolds can't attack them. So the kobolds have to run away while my units make short work of them. So what happened there is I actually came upon a Night Elf settlement, and the Night Elves are willing to help me out to try to defeat the Warlock. But unfortunately, one of their heroes is actually captured by the undead that are nearby, so we're going to have to help them out to free the hero before we can defeat the Warlock. But now I have control of a bunch of Night Elf units that I can use.
The undead have taken refuge behind the dense trees. Do not fear, friend. For in this place, even the mighty trees must answer to my power.
So you can see trees will still play a big part in the game. We'll still use them to block areas of terrain. And then you'll have to use peons, artillery, or in this case, the Keeper of the Grove has a special ability which will take care of these trees. So I can cast on a grove of trees, and all the trees will melt away. The thing that's really powerful about the spell, though, is that I can actually regrow the trees back if I wanted to. So I cast it on stumps, all the trees grow back. So you could actually pass through a barrier and then grow it back behind you so you couldn't be followed. Alright, so I'm going to come up on the undead here.
When I reanimate your corpse to do my bidding,
Cancer can raise dead units to help them. Alright.
thank you for releasing me from their foul clutches. The dead smell even worse than demons. You sense them, can't you? The burning legion has returned. I know. My soul trap will take care of them. You better move.
So now I've rescued the Demon Hunter. He's one of the heroes of the Night Elves, and he has an item called the Soul Gem. The Soul Gem's a really powerful item, but it's a one-use item. You can use it to trap the soul of any enemy hero, which we can now use on the Warlock. The only disadvantage of the Soul Gem is that if the hero that's holding the Soul Gem dies, the hero is freed again. So once you trap the hero, you have to be careful not to let him loose again.
I can smell the foul demons from here.
I noticed you guys have really souped up the in-game voiceovers and just to get the player really into the game.
Yes, absolutely. Like I was saying, this is more of an example of what a single-player level might be like. We really want to give you that sense of storyline, feeling like you're involved in an interactive story and all the RPG elements that are in the game. So here's another neutral building example, and like you probably know by now, there's going to be a whole host of neutral buildings that we can place on different maps, and there'll be different ones on different maps. In this case, this is the Sacrificial Altar. The Sacrificial Altar isn't the nicest of buildings, but it's a pretty powerful building. I can now have any of my units sacrifice themselves, and then their death will give experience to the hero controlling the mind, controlling the altar itself.
Very honorable goal for your soldiers to be doing, definitely.
Yeah, not the nicest thing to do, but, you know, sometimes you got to do the best thing for the race, right?
So, the reclusive Night Elves got cleared at last. You should have stayed in hiding, boy. The great hideout this begun race will burn. Not today, Hellspawn. Not midnight.
The Balrog Guardians here we'll have to take out first. That's no problem. We'll go ahead and use Shadow Word here again. Balrogs can no longer see me, so they're meat. Alright, so the Balrogs are down now. All I have to do, bring my Demon Hunter over here, cast Soul Gem on the Warlock, and he's toast. And that is Warcraft 3.